The June 9, 2016 Longview City Council will now come to order. Tonight, Ms. Statman was unable to be here because of a family emergency for our prayer and our pledge, but we have some wonderful young men that are going to help us out tonight. You'll be led tonight by Kenny Wynn and Chris Malin. Please stand. Yes, sir.
Lord, we gather here today to thank you for this able-bodied council that we have, led by a wonderful mayor. You know, we have a lot of concerned citizens. We live in a great community we're extremely thankful for. We're faced with many challenges, but we know with your grace and through prayer that you will help our community and our leaders send our city in the right direction. And just thank you for everyone gathered here today. Amen.
Amen.
Now the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Gentlemen, thank you so much. They had no idea they were doing this tonight. I just want you to know that. As a matter of fact, we were joking when I walked in. I said, I should have had you guys do the prayer and the pledge. And then I realized Ms. Statman wasn't going to be here. And I said, guess what, guys? You're in. You guys did a great job. Thank you. Both these young men graduated from Longview High School with my son, Luke. So I've known them for quite some time. They represent our city well. Thank you for your attendance. Okay. Employee recognition tonight. The Fireworks and Freedom Celebration City Planning Committee. This group has done a ton of work, so I would like to talk about this. Tonight we'll recognize city employees that make up the Interdepartmental Planning Committee for this year's Fireworks and Freedom Celebration taking place on Monday, July the 4th. This dedicated group of employees has been meeting and working as a team since January to plan and coordinate all aspects of producing this large community event. Departments involved include police, fire, finance, animal services, CVB, HR, media development, streets and drainage, Mod Cog, library, community services, environmental health, partners in prevention, IT, GIS, facility maintenance, sanitation, parks, and building inspection. Please bear with me as I call everyone up to the stage. James Bettis, Rachel Braun, Shannon DeRosa, Carrie Fisher, Katie Fisher, Crystal Gable, Keith Galusha, Dixie Golden, Sean Hara, Taylor Harding, Laura Hill, Dietrich Johnson, Leisha Kidd, Keita King, Terry Miller, Ann Oetken, Eric Parcher, Elaine Reynolds, Christy Sanchez, Barry Scott, Scott Steelhorse, David Simmons, Daniel Small, Laura Starling, Mike Tamanio, Mike Wigington, Dennis Williams, and Johnny Zachary. Okay, that's a big list, but let me tell you, this is a big job too. You know, to put this event on for our citizens, and I don't know how many of y'all have been to this Freedom and Fireworks Celebration. It is phenomenal. It is a ton of work, but you know, the citizens come out, they get to enjoy a fireworks show, fun and games the whole day. It's a fantastic event, and I can tell you, just from being there last year when you all were doing all the setup and to see what you go through, it is an incredible planning of an event. And I take my hat off to you all. I thank you for your time, your dedication. Because of you all, we will all, and all the citizens of Longview, and it brings in citizens from all around to come and watch this fireworks show. We will all enjoy the 4th of July, a time where we celebrate our freedom, our celebratory weekend. We're going to have a lot of fun events this year, things that we haven't done in the past. I'm looking so forward to it. We're going to talk a little bit more about that at the end. But I appreciate y'all's dedication, your service, your hard work, because without you all, this would not happen. And this is a city-funded, city-run event. We're utilizing our resources for our community, and I couldn't be more pleased with you. And I thank you all so very much for your dedication, your time, your commitment to Longview. Thank you all so much. Hold on. Don't go yet. Don't go. It's our ritual. That's what we do. Thanks, Keita. Okay, y'all stand for a picture. Okay, time out. Not much better over here. I'm on my tiptoes, just so you know. than I was. I really wasn't. Just, Citizen comment. I have a few speaker cards tonight. We'll start with Ms. Linda Ritt.
To Mayor Mack and to the City Council, my name is Linda Ritt. I reside at 100 Crestwood Drive, Longview, Texas, and I'm here tonight to basically talk about eminent domain. All of our the business aspect of it, all of our bids, our appraisals, and all the documentation has already been presented to the city. But I stand tonight wanting resolution in the matter. Through prayer and fasting, this event is unfolding, this vision of our church. I stand to represent God's Covenant of Deliverance Tabernacle at 1809 East Cotton Street. The city of Longview at this moment is endeavoring to do an expansion of the street there, and it is in turn a concern of ours because years of long years of sweat and tears have been put into this effort, and the vision itself is coming to pass. And because it concerned Jesus about what was happening in the house of God, it also concerns us at this point what would be happening to the house of God that we are the servants of. When we have positions and labels, and that gives us badges of recognitions in society, but at the end of the day, we all become common, meaning that we all answer to a higher authority. And I would just like to say that our titles should describe our functions in our community, because reputation is what people think about you, but character is what God knows about you. And I know we don't deem many things now as sacred anymore, but the house of God is very sacred to us. And what God knows about us, again, I say, is our character. This is God's house, and we do understand progress. You call yours progress, we call ours ministry. And you call yours beautification of the city, we call ours ratification of the hearts and the souls of men and women that make up the city. And at this time, we will be placing, you will be placing cements and utilities in the ground. But we're endeavoring to place seed in the grounds, in the heart and the souls of men and women. We understand progress is needful. But please understand at the same time, ministry, because it is mandated. We have the same agenda to go forward, but it's how you see it. Because it's possible to look and not really see. Parking spaces, steps, handicap ramps, fence, and signs are inclusive of the taking. There's a sense of accomplishment
Ms. Linda?
that comes.
Your time is up. If you'll wrap it up, I'll give you just a few more seconds, okay?
Okay, these are the facts.
Thank you.
These are the facts. We are depleted of options to expand. Our properties are deemed unusable, and we will be denied proper access to our building. We're asking you to revisit, look again, and see what has been presented. Our ministry, our business, and our future investment. We're asking that we be justly compensated, justly, what is morally right or fair, truthfully and honestly. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Linda. Tonight we have a presentation item, and I will ask our Longview Transit Management Team, Scott Lewis, Takita Mumphrey, and Finney Alvarez to come forward. This is a proclamation regarding the 11th Annual National Dump the Pump Day. Catchy, isn't it? If you think about it, it really does have nothing to do with transit. I don't know where that came from, but I love it. It's very good. Okay, June 16, 2016, whereas Longview Transit has requested the mayor a proclamation recognize June 16, 2016 as National Dump the Pump Day in the city of Longview, and whereas people who ride public transportation can save on average more than $9,312 per year. On this day, we encourage people to ride public transportation as public transit powers community growth by driving economic development and revitalizing neighborhoods. So now, therefore, Andy Mack, by authority vested in me, City of Longview, do proclaim June 16th as National Dump the Pump Day in Longview. Thank you all so very much. Thank you. Thank you, sir. But you all, hold on. You all understand that this Dump the Pump, what it basically is we're encouraging you to ride our transit system. We want you out there riding our bus. And I've said this before. The bus system is not just for poor people. I don't know why we have that concept. It's for everybody. Get out there and ride that bus. It's cheap, it's fun, it's easy, it'll take you where we want to go. And understand this, the more riders we get, the more funding we get. So it's important that we do this, that we participate in something like this because it's good for our community. And it's a great way to get out and meet people and see what's going on. It's really enjoyable. You should try it. And I thank you all for promoting this, for promoting our transit system, for keeping us where we are in Longview. I know this thing has come a long way, and it's because of you all and people like you all that have made this thing what it is and will continue to grow it, because I look for really good things to happen in the future. Thank you all so much. Thank you.
Thank you all. Appreciate you. And they're air conditioned if you're going to get out of the heat.
Very nice. You know, if y'all recall, when we did our Energy Bus book, I did most of the videos inside one of the city buses, and I can tell you, they are fantastic inside, though. I would love to have one. They wouldn't give it to me. They wouldn't let me drive it either. They're very stingy with that stuff. But it was very nice. So I commend our public transit and all that we're doing for that segment that really needs it, and those of us that should try it. So thank you all. Public safety update. Chief Bishop.
Mayor Mack, council members, Mr. Bonds, I have just a few things to share with you tonight. A little bit about our calls for service for May. You can see we answered a little over 10,000 calls for service during the month of May. We're getting to that point of the year where our calls for service typically start to go up during the summer months. 5,900 of those were dispatched, and 4,200 of them were officer-initiated calls for service. We had a total of 173 arrests for the month, 18 felony arrests with 21 charges, and 169 misdemeanor arrests with 288 total charges. I'd like to announce with summertime here and school out, the police department will be starting a bunch of different programs for our youth. We're having a Police Explorer Academy Summer 2016 that will run June 20th through 23rd. This is for students that may be interested in our Explorer program or policing in general if they're interested in attending this academy. It's 4 full days of hands-on police-style training and classroom education. The only restriction we have is that they need to be at least 14 years old and have completed the 8th grade. We do have a course cost of $20 to help cover the cost of some of the materials. But for those that are interested, they can go to longviewtexas.gov/Explorer Academy if they're interested, and this is a real good program that we have for our youth. Talking with Scott Karen, our Parks Director, I put a couple pictures in this presentation here from Kids View. Over the last several nights, we've experienced some vandalism at Kids View. Some of it was severe enough to where we had to close the park for a little bit till we could get the repairs, the Parks Department could get the repairs made to keep it safe. Somebody had gone through with some type of sharp object and had cut a bunch of the wood and stuff with on the playground where the kids play. This is typically, we start to see a lot of vandalism in the parks during the summer months. So I'd just like to ask our citizens that are out there, when they're in the parks, if they see something suspicious, to please call us and let us come out and check it out. Usually when we have this type of vandalism, it closes the parks down and it keeps our citizens from using them. I'd also like to thank the staff of Thrive 360. Just recently, they started their basketball portion of their program. They asked for some of our officers to volunteer to form a team and come out and play a couple of games with the kids. And I have a few pictures here to share with you from that. The officers really enjoyed getting out there and forming a team and playing with the kids, and they all had a great time. So with that, I'll answer any questions.
Thank you, Chief. Appreciate you.
Okay, thank you.
Chief Stillman.
It's always mine.
I'm sorry, Microsoft has stopped working.
I haven't a doubt one you can do this without that, Chief. There's no doubt about it. You can do it without it, I know. I've
Okay,
seen
well,
you
it's better
work
with
before.
pictures, though. It's way more entertaining than just listening to me
I've
talk.
seen you work, my friend.
So, Mayor Matt, council members, Mr. Bonds, thanks for the opportunity to update you on a few things that have been going on in the fire department. As you may be well aware, the state of Texas can't catch a break, and about 2 weeks ago today, they called upon us to send some help down. We deployed members of our water rescue team that are members of Texas Task Force 1. They went down initially to the College Station Bryan area when they got hit with some severe weather. They have spent most of their time over the course of the past 2 weeks working in the Conroe area, is what you see there, assisting people doing flood rescues, getting people out of neighborhoods. Things are pretty bad down there. We anticipate these guys, they're figuring out that things are kind of calming down, waters are starting to recede, and the 7 people that we had deployed should be back in Longview hopefully this weekend. But they've been away for 2 weeks, and they've been representing the city very well. And there's just a list of names. I won't read those. But I'm hearing great reports back from the state level people saying that they've performed admirably, and they certainly appreciate the help that we provided. I got a little bit of a feel-good story to share with you, and I like this one if I can get it to advance. Angie? Okay. An animal rescue. We had this happen on June the 1st. We had a dog. We got a call from the animal control officers about a dog that was stuck in a drainage culvert underneath the street. And as you can tell, the dog was way back, tucked back deep into there, and it was a real tight space, real small drainage culvert off of Birdie Place out on the west end of town. So we had some crews go out there together, and between the fire department crews and the animal control officers, and it's amazing when you see that dog in the back of that culvert. It looks like a small dog, and then when they pulled him all out, it was a rather large dog that had run away from home chasing the cat. Fortunately, the dog was microchipped, and they were able to reunite it with its family. So. Anyway, these are the kind of stories you like to see a positive outcome. To make this one a little bit more time sensitive, if you'll remember back to that Wednesday, the storms were moving through Longview. And this dog had already been trapped in that drainage culvert for about an hour, and they got him out, and within probably about an hour later, that drainage culvert was full of water. So had they not been able to get the dog out, very, very likely he would have drowned in that space. So I like to point that out because to me, this exemplifies one of the city's core values of teamwork. And if my slide will advance, Angie. I know. I probably clicked it like 4 times, so it's fixing to fly through there when it catches up. So the teamwork between the fire department and the ACOs out there in the street, I mean, these guys work together great to effect this rescue of this animal and get it back with its family where it belongs. So certainly proud to be a part of that. Heroes of Tomorrow Camp. These are our hot camps. You've heard them referred to. These are the summer camps that the fire department do. We have 2 offerings of that, and it's kind of dark down there on the bottom. June the 25th is the first opportunity. July the 9th is the second. These camps are a 1-day camp. They're free. All you have to be is in anywhere between the 8th grade and the 12th grade to attend. And this is if you want to find out about how the fire department works, if you're interested in exploring a career. And this is kind of a precursor to our Explorer program. So this is that introductory phase where you come in, you learn some things, and kind of see if this is something that you want to check out a little bit further. So we certainly encourage people that are interested to come check it out. 237-1119 is the phone number that you can call to get registered, and there's still space available. And finally, to update you, several weeks ago, we showed this almost the same exact slide of Mayor Mack putting the first wad of money into the boot when we started our MDA campaign for the year. And just to update you, we've done that. Annually, we do that 3 times. We do it across 3 different Fridays. Unfortunately, the 3rd Friday that we were going to do it in May, severe weather came through, so we canceled it, but we're going to do that 3rd Friday on June the 17th, so that's a week from tomorrow. So you'll see us back out at the intersections of the Loop and Gilmer and the Loop and 4th. So far, because of the generosity of our community, we've been able to raise over $46,000 to put toward muscular dystrophy. So it never ceases to amaze me at how caring and giving the people in this community are, and it floors me, and I'm certainly glad to be a part of it, to be out there to take that money off your hands and make sure that it gets to a good cause. So keep that up for us, and I promise you we'll put that money where it counts. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Chief, two things. Just first of all, thank you for your persistence in the Fill the Boot campaign. That's such a worthy cause, and I know we did have a bad day, but I appreciate y'all taking the time to reschedule that because it's important, and we need to go ahead and complete that thing out. And secondly, I appreciate the efforts to rescue the dog. I don't know who you got to crawl in that hole, but there is no way on earth I can't.
They actually, Mr. Is Rollin here? One of the things they were thinking about doing was busting the street up to get to the dog. So they figured out a way without having to put somebody in there and bust the street up. They came to a compromise to be able to get the dog out. So
well,
that
I
all worked
appreciate
out.
all the work because that's one of those feel-good stories we appreciate. That's what our city's all about. So thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Appreciate y'all and all that you do. Okay, to consent agenda now. Is there any items to be pulled off for separate discussion? Hold on, just one second. I have one comment, and I'm not sure, but I think it will be around number C, just an aside. And I'm glad that we're able to come to this point where we can authorize final payment. But what I would like to make sure of is that before we submit final payment, that all of the punch list has been completed. Because according to my information and being down there are still, and it's little stuff, but I've found that sometimes the little stuff just gets overlooked because the payment's been made and we just say, okay, the companies move on. And it's nothing against anyone, that's just human nature. But I would want to make sure we insist on everything being completed before we make this final payment. I know you all will do that, okay? So I just wanted to, I feel obligated to say that because I think it's something we need to be very, very conscious of. With that said, is there a motion? And a second? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We're to zoning. We have a public hearing to consider application PD 1605. Ms. Choi.
Thank you, Mayor Mack, members of council, and Mr. Bonds. This is a public hearing will be held to consider application PD 1605 filed by First Choice Affordable Homes LLC requesting a rezone from single-family 5 to planned development single-family detached for lots 3, 3A, 9, 10, 11, and 14, Block 1, lots 1A, 1A3, and 1D, Block 2, Key Bunt addition located on East Berkeley Street, west of Avenue A. The applicant is requesting to rezone to allow for the construction of a 17-lot single-family detached community, as seen here on this site plan. The proposed site plan does show 17 lots with a minimum lot size of 3,600 square feet, with a minimum house size of 576 square feet, minimum lot width of 40 feet, and a minimum lot depth of 90 feet. Within this planned development, the developer has proposed to develop a 20-foot wide alleyway at the rear of the properties, as seen here on this site plan. Planning and Zoning Commission and staff recommends approval of this request. I'd be happy to answer any questions at this time.
This does require a public hearing, which is now open. I have 2 speaker cards, Aaron Olson and Tom Mittler. Do y'all want to speak or just answer questions?
Thank you. My name is Tom Mittler, and I'm here as an individual I work through the church benevolent group and provide help daily to those in need in our community with financial help for rent and utilities and food and other types of assistance. So I've been working with this part of our community for over 4 years now and see a tremendous need for low-cost, affordable housing for people in low to moderate incomes. And of course, these will address primarily smaller families, maybe a single mom with 1 or 2 children, maybe a young couple. Many of you probably have seen some of the television shows that talk about tiny homes. Of course, these are not going to be on wheels. They'll be permanent homes. And I think it's a tremendous asset for our community. It speaks to a need addressed in the comprehensive plan and many different parts of that to provide diverse housing. Everybody cannot afford nor desires a large detached house, 3,000 or 4,000 square feet on a large lot from a cost standpoint or just from a value standpoint. So I think will address a great need in our community and will get people out of substandard rental property. So I would encourage you to approve this zoning change.
Thank you, Mr. Mittler. Aaron?
Good evening, City Council. My name is Aaron Alston, and I'm here representing First Choice Affordable Homes tonight. And as you might remember, this is a very similar house plan to what we brought before the council several months ago, with one exception, and this has got a rear entry. And we did that to accommodate a rear alley. And we think that's going to do a lot to increase the curb appeal, get cars off the street, get cars out from in front of the house. And so there's room for parking space for 2 vehicles behind each house. And we've got enough lots that are congruent to each other to make revitalize the whole area. We've got several houses in there that are abandoned that we're going to tear down. There's 1 or 2 homes there on lots that we don't own or won't own. And those are just homes that people are living in that are in good shape. But there's a couple that are abandoned and not being used that we're going to haul the debris away and clean the whole area up and put some of these houses there. So we feel like this is a good site for it. It's got good access. It's got good visibility from all street sides, and we've got utilities there. So I'm really here just to answer any questions you guys might have.
Mr. Alston, first I want to say thank you for your willingness to take the last meeting and improve on this, and you have, and you all have done a great job, and this is something that we certainly do need in our community, and I appreciate you and your group stepping up and bringing this back to us. It says a lot about you all, and it says a lot about what you're willing to do for our community, so I just want to say thank you for your persistence.
Thank you.
Any other questions, Council?
I have a couple, Mayor.
For Mr. Alston or for Ms. Choi?
Mr. Alston.
Okay.
Are the alleyways going to be private or publicly dedicated?
They'll be privately owned.
Okay. And then lastly, on the site plan, the one house that has the 2 little cars drawn in, it does not look like the alleyway reaches all the way to that driveway. How are we going to
That's correct, because the lot directly south of that is not owned by us, and so that alley encroaches on both lots. And so what we've done there is there'd be a private driveway at the end of the alley that gets the last house parking access.
Thank you.
Mr. Alston, what is the total number of homes you're going to be building?
There's 17 there.
17?
Yes, ma'am.
Anyone else? Mr. Allen?
Yes, sir. Thank you for bringing this plan forward. My wife and I took the time and the opportunity to go out and look. This is a pretty heavily wooded area with some old homes in it that it needs improvement. And this is definitely an area that I think will be a benefit to that area. And I want to say thank you. I believe you all have done projects also on North 3rd Street, where you built some wonderful homes over there, very colorful, and add to the neighborhood, and I'm sure this will do the same.
Okay. Thank you.
If there's nothing else, the public hearing is now closed. Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Ms. Choi, public hearing held to consider application HL 16-02.
Thank you. I'm gonna advance forward a few slides. Okay, the City of Longview is requesting to designate the Idlewood Fire Station, seen here on this Sanborn map, as a local historic landmark. This will be Longview's 4th historic landmark if this designation is approved. As you've heard before, in 1935, voters approved issuance of bonds to construct a new city hall along with 2 fire stations. One of the fire stations was located on Mobberley Avenue, south of Young Street in the Idlewood subdivision. The contractor was C.S. Lambie Company, and the architect was N.L. Peters. C.S. Lambie and Company was also the contractor for the Gregg County Courthouse, along with several other courthouses throughout Texas and New Mexico, and actually Colorado as well. The building was constructed in 1936 and is Tudor style. The Idlewood Fire Station meets several criteria listed in the Historic Preservation section of the City of Longview zoning ordinance due to its historic, economic, architectural, and cultural significance. Staff recommends approval that this structure should be designated as a local historic landmark. Historic Preservation Commission, along with Planning and Zoning, recommend approval of this request. I'd be happy to answer any questions at this time.
This requires a public hearing, which is now open. Are there any speakers? Any council discussion?
Comment.
Ms. Williams?
I just want to say, I think that this is great. That building is absolutely beautiful. For anyone who's ever had an opportunity to go in, a lot of the history is still there, and so I'm glad, and I commend the Historical Commission for making this decision. I believe you're the liaison, Councilman Moore, so thank you all for moving forward because it's a phenomenal building. Are there any plans in the future, long-term?
At this time, I do not know of any.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other comments? Mr. Wright?
Ms. Choi, what kind of shape is the building in now?
Historic-wise, it's actually in pretty good shape. One of the our architect on the Historic Preservation Commission has said it's in actually pretty good shape on the outside. The inside does need a little bit of work.
So who's going to be responsible for upgrading it or maintaining it? Or
Well, it's a City of Longview property, so the City of Longview, yes, sir.
Okay, so we're already short money and we're going to be asked to maintain something else then?
Well, it's already a city building. We already have to maintain it. It's in very good shape on the outside.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
We're not required to do anything to the inside just because we're designated this. It's just a designation we're giving. We're not required to do anything unless we have a use or a tenant for it. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Okay.
We are not
We'll
required
just continue to
upgrade.
maintain as we have the outside structure.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
Can I ask another question? Do the firemen still use it from time to time for different things, Chief, or no? Not even training activities anymore? Okay.
Any other questions? Public hearing is now closed. Is there a motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Public hearing will be held to consider M 16-02. Ms. Choi.
Thank you, Mayor Mack. All right. The request is to amend Article 26-101 of the Historic Preservation section of the City of Longview zoning ordinance to revise the membership requirements of the Longview Historic Preservation Commission. When the Historic Preservation section of the City of Longview zoning ordinance was adopted by City Council, there were profession requirements set forth regarding the commission. In order to become a certified local government, CLG, Texas Historic Commission, required the Historic Preservation Commission to have all these positions based on a certain profession. These requirements have since been amended by THC. Therefore, staff has suggested a revision to our ordinance in order to be a little bit more flexible. In the past, we've had trouble filling the commission based on these requirements. We have met with THC to go over these new amended professions. They have signed off on it. As you can see here, here are the 7 professions. An architect, planner, or representative of a design profession, that stays the same. Number 2, a historian or someone knowledgeable in local history, that also stays the same. Number 3, a licensed real estate professional. It was a licensed real estate broker. We amended it to be a little bit more open to say professional. An attorney, number 4, stays the same. Number 5, an owner of a historic landmark. Number 5 was in 2 parts. It was two positions, an owner of a historic landmark, and then the 6th position was a property of an owner of a property in a historic overlay district. We combined it for number 5. And then number 6, we put 2 members at large positions that demonstrate interest, competence, and knowledge in historic preservation within the city of Longview. I think this allows for the commission to be a little bit more open to allow for the commission to be filled. It has never been filled since its creation. The Historic Preservation Commission, along with Planning and Zoning Commission, recommend approval of this request. I'd be happy to answer any questions at this time.
This requires a public hearing, which is now open. Any speaker cards? Any speakers? Any council discussion?
Mayor, just a brief comment. I echo Ms. Choi's recommendation that this will go a long way toward potentially fully filling up the Historical Commission. On a number of occasions, there's, only 3 people there because we've had a hard time getting nominees. So I wholeheartedly endorse this.
Very good. Public hearing is now closed. Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. We will now pull the agenda item on housing, public hearing, and action item for the budget. We will next move on to action items. Our first action item is consider a resolution authorizing an agreement between the City of Longview and Longview Economic Development Corporation for the funding of certain improvements to city systems of recreational trails. For Guthrie Trail Phase 1, Mr. Willard, thank you. And you look so much younger this week.
Thank you.
Nice hair transplant.
Council,
Mr. Keith Bonds is filling in tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, Council, we have opportunity to accept funding from LeadCo to construct this section of trail, and I'm going to let Mr. Karen describe the trail for you.
Mr. Karen, welcome.
It shows the value of Mr. Willard as he takes 2 of us to get that project done. So hope he can see that when he gets upon his return. As you recall, in the comprehensive plan, trails were a very large aspect of that. And so we've put together a number of different plans, but one of the trail components is connecting existing trails to be able to have one interconnected system. And so we have put together a various list of trails, and the one that we have put forward currently connects Cargill Trail down to Aiken Park and the Aiken Trail, which was recently reconstructed last year. And so this is phase 1 of the Guthrie Trail. I'll be happy to answer any questions you guys may have on that.
Are there any questions for Mr. Karen? I would like to recognize Ms. Peggy Vaughn is in our audience. Peggy, please stand. Please come forward. Peggy, if you all don't know, Peggy is the president of our LEDCO Board of Directors and has done a phenomenal job in moving this forward and into the light of where we're trying to go and what I think LEDCO is trying to accomplish. Peggy, would you like to say something? We would love if you do.
Yes. Thank you, Mayor Mack, City Council, and Mr. Bonds. Thank you for allowing me to make a few comments about the rationale for funding the trails. All of our activities in LEDCO are directly focused on economic development. We are in that lane totally around 4A projects, which are primary jobs. But the board does have the authority to invest in what's called 4B projects, and there are several categories in the 4B. We launched a committee. Keith Honey chaired that committee. Kristen was actually part of that discussion around investing in 4B projects. We looked at the comprehensive plan as the voice of the citizens, and obviously number 2 was around the trail system. Just as a little background, which I think is interesting, through my contacts, I was introduced to the Director of Public Policy at Dallas. He also serves on the Dallas Trail Boards, and we had a lengthy discussion about the importance and value of trails in urban development. He actually sent me an article from the Urban Land Institute, which had just been recently published, that said a couple of things, which again, in our focus on economic development, that there was a linkage between investing in trails in urban areas as a very big positive impact to both commercial and economic development. There was a linkage to the improvement of property values in the proximity of these trails. They were used by people of all income, and they have become alternative modes in some cities for transportation and to businesses. So we've also discussed, as we've been talking to site selectors that are looking at Longview, about our view of the trail system, and they think this is a very big added positive thing about this new millennial group who really sees urban trails as something that's very important for their outside adventures. So we evaluated the trail system. You know, there are different parts of the trails that we looked at. One was improving Cargill. The other was then connecting the two. When the two trails are connected, Cargill and Borman, there'll be 10 miles of contiguous trails. And what we did was we picked the first section in the top, which goes around Regional Hospital. So I think it'll probably get a lot of use, you know, as that extension. And there's a lot of folks that are in those neighborhoods and certainly around the hospital. So, so we unanimously agreed that this would be a very good area for us to invest citizens' money in something we felt like would be both helpful for economic development as well as, you know, supported the comprehensive plan.
Peggy, we really appreciate you and the dedication that the new board has put in. You all have put in a ton of time. I know that we don't have an executive director right now, and I know you're in the process of selecting one, but it's really great to see our community come together on something like this where we're investing in ourselves, which is always a positive. And we thank you for coming up and sharing with us, and we look forward to seeing you at many more council meetings.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, I will say one last thing, I'm sorry. The contract really puts all the responsibility into the hands of the city to implement this, but Keith Honey is going to stay connected with that team so we can give our progress reports to LECO. But, you know, we certainly appreciate y'all taking the responsibility of, you know, doing all the hard lifting here.
We will make sure we're good stewards of your money. Thank you. Any other questions, comments? Is there a motion?
Do we have a completion date? Idea of how long it'll take?
No, we do not. This will go through site development, bidding process, timing with LEDCO's budget, and it will take a few months to get all that going for sure.
Maybe a year or something?
Probably. Okay. Any other questions? Is there a motion?
Move to approve. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you so much. We're to items of community interest. Mr. Moore.
I just want to remind everybody of a historical marker workshop at the Development Services Building Saturday morning at 10 o'clock. If you're interested, you can give Development Services a call at 237-1072. This is being co-sponsored by the city's planning and zoning staff and the Gregg County Historical Commission.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Snoddy.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to take a moment to invite everyone to, on June 25th, Kasia and I will be hosting, it's called the Great Town Hall Meeting, but it's going to be more of a South Longview extravaganza. Guys, there's going to be bounce houses for the kids and skydivers. We're going to be showing the movie War Room. This is an opportunity for South Longview as well as other citizens in Longview to come together because we do agree that we have similar issues in our community. So we're wanting everyone in South Longview to come out and participate in this. It's all going to be free. We're going to be serving the All-American meal, hot dogs, apple pie, Cokes. So please put that on your calendar for June 25th. Gates will open at 3 p.m. Hope to see you there. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Snoddy. Ms. Williams.
I love that. About the skydivers, they're going to come down, and when they hit the ground, they're going to have an American flag. Somebody's going to have an American flag in his mouth. So that is going to be interesting, okay? I'm all over that, okay? So please come and enjoy our community, because a community that works together and most importantly prays together. All right, now. We stay together, and we've been so blessed throughout this entire process. Next, this Saturday, the third annual PFLAG Longview Pride Festival will take place 3 to 9 p.m. at Heritage Plaza. Please come out. There'll be entertainment. Many vendors will be there, and we are looking forward to welcoming people into our great community. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Shahara.
Don't have anything.
Mr. Wright.
Nothing tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Allen.
Well, this is about it. You know, it's been a wonderful journey. It's been a wonderful time with the city council. It's just, it's been good, and I hope that I've done the best I can for the city of Longview. You know, one thing that came up tonight, when Chief Bishop was showing this damage to Kids View, and I'm just going to be frankful and be truthful with you. I don't know who did this, but I wrote down a few comments, and these are a little derogatory. You're a worthless person if this is all you have to do is damage something that children use for their benefit. You're not very smart. I'll just put it plain, you're just dumb. And it's always easier to do bad things than it is good things. So just because you can't think of anything good to do, you shouldn't be out there doing bad things. That'll take it. Now, if I could take just a minute, and Mr. Bonds, could you come forward, and we'll do a quick thing here.
Is your name on there?
No.
When I first got on the city council 9.5 years ago, I was working at that time. I had an income. And so I went to Mr. Finley, the city attorney, and said, you know, I really don't need that money, and could we work up something to where the city does not compensate me for service? And he said, yes, he could. So he drew up an agreement, and I signed it. I will say at the time, the mayor has come up with an excellent idea with his scholarship program with the children, and I really wish I'd thought of that at that time. So that would have been something excellent. But for the first 8 years, and I've been on the council about 9.5, for the first 8 years, I drew no compensation from the city of Longview. And just as a reminder or symbol, I have a check here made to the city of Longview in the amount of $24,000. So next time somebody says, well, the city wasted $1,000 or wasted $1,000 there, well, we've got a $24,000 credit that you can work against. So, and then at the end of my 8 years of service, I retired from my job, and my wife and I said, we need some grocery money. So for the last 1.5 years, I have drawn $250 a month. But again, I want to say thank you. And just remember that we've got $24,000 credit. When somebody complains, you're wasting their money. Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
We thank you, Mr. Allen, for your service and for your generous donation for our city.
I think that scholarship program was excellent.
Well, thank you very much. Mr. Bonds, do you have anything?
No, sir.
Okay, I have a few things tonight. Oh, I just did it. Dadgummit. I said okay. Okay, my mom is sitting in the back here. She has told me, quit saying okay so much. And I'm trying so hard not to, and I just did it again. So forgive me for that. I know she's keeping count, and I'll get to hear how many I said when the meeting's over. So I'm not going to say okay anymore. We have End of the School Summer 16 downtown Longview on Fredonia Street, Saturday, June the 11th from 7 to 11. Free admission. Call 237-1255 for more information. We have the Police Explorer Academy, as Chief mentioned, 2016, June 20th to the 23rd. Must be 14 years old and completed 8th grade. Course cost is $20. The Heroes of Tomorrow Hot Camp, as Chief also mentioned, Chiefs and Chiefs. One-day camp for 8th to 12th grade boys and girls, Saturday, June the 25th. We have our 4th of July Freedom and Fireworks Celebration at Maud Cobb on July the 4th. This is going to be an outstanding event. We hope the citizens will participate. We're going to have some really fun things to do. I know we're going to have a tent this year that I will be hosting in that tent, where you'll be able to purchase tickets to come to the tent to help sponsor this event. And I look forward to you being in the tent with us and enjoying this night, because it's going to be a great night for our city. Going to be across the main stage. Tickets go to longviewtexas.gov/mayor, July the 4th. Oh, there it is right there. Okay, very good. So please get your tickets and come join us in the tent, and let's enjoy our July 4th activities. Longview, Texas events, recent events. We just had the T-Bone Walker Blues Festival. I know Dietrich was in the audience earlier. Dietrich, y'all did a fantastic job. All involved, thank you for putting on such a good event, even though the weather didn't cooperate. Well, it cooperated. We just didn't think it was going to cooperate, but you all did a great job of on-the-fly moving. Appreciate you very much. Artsview Children's Theater performance will come up. The 28th annual Run for the Wall is coming up. We have the Farmers Market in downtown Longview. We have Longview Summer Boat Show, the Longview J.C.'s Trade Days, the movies on the Plaza, our Freedom's Fireworks Celebration, and Art Walk, and many, many more. I also want to mention today I had the privilege of going to the Boys and Girls Clubs with Nona and Kasia and Kristen. And we honored Judge Stout today as a champion for youth for the Boys and Girls Clubs. And I can tell you, Judge Stout has an amazing resume, as you all might know, but he also is an amazing man who has a heart for kids and a heart for our community, and he's done such a wonderful job as our county judge. But he's also done a wonderful job propagating our youth. And you know, you can never do something better than invest your time in your youth, and he has done such a fantastic job. So, Judge Stout, congratulations. We appreciate your service. I know the kids and everyone involved appreciate what you do for the Boys and Girls Clubs. Okay. Oh, I just did it again. Okay. Did it again. That's it. No more. I'm done with that. Survey time. We had the survey this week was of the 40,000 plus registered voters in the city of Longview, which district do you think has the most registered voters? And these are the council representatives that represent those districts. We have a smart city. 37%, which is the highest answer, District 6. District 6 has, as you can see, 8,885 registered voters. That's our highest registered voter district. And second place was District 4, Mrs. Shahara's district, 27%, right on, 75-15. This is a very interesting statistic if you look at this, and if you'll also remember, we have a runoff election this Saturday in District 6 with two candidates vying for Mr. Allen's seat. So please, District 6, go out and vote. We had a decent turnout in early voting, nothing spectacular, but we have a day on this Saturday where we can go out and make your vote count and cast your vote for a district representative for District 6. Two other things. Well, one thing for sure. I want to just give a quick recognition to a young man from Longview that some of you all know and some of you may not know. I don't have, wait, my second question. I forgot. Being down 2-0, do you think the Cleveland Cavaliers have any chance of winning the NBA championship? Well, I can tell you this, after last night's game, the voting really changed. It changed a lot. Because before last night, it was a big Cleveland who. That was the big winner. But now it's possible, of course, we're cheering for the underdog. So it was a great game last night. We'll see how that works out. It's been a good series so far. Hopefully it'll continue to be a good series. Okay. Back to that. And thank you all for participating in this survey. This was a good survey this week. I got it out late because we had a lot going on Monday with things that we had to also get out. But I appreciate you all going to the Facebook page and looking at that page and participating and seeing what's going on. And as I'm on that, let me just finish this. I'm going to start something in the next few weeks where on my Facebook page, we have a lot of followers, and I appreciate that. And we get a lot of information out, and we get a lot of information in, and I think that's a great thing. So what I'm going to start doing, because not everybody watches Channel 5. I know we broadcast these council meetings, and not everybody watches that, which I understand. Not everybody reads the newspaper, which I understand that as well. I'm going to start doing a video recap, a quick video recap of each council meeting when they're over, so that we can get things out that I think the citizens should be aware of. And I'm not being critical of anyone. I'm not being critical of the newspaper or anyone else. But not everything that we say in a council meeting makes the media. And I think that's sometimes it's good, and sometimes it's not. And in one instance, I'm very disappointed in that when we had our scholarship applicants up here, and they did such a fantastic job of reading their essays, we had no coverage from that, and that disappointed me. But I'm not criticizing anyone, but I think it's my job as your mayor to make us as aware as possible of what we're doing and what's going on. That's just one more way that I can get information out to the citizens, where you can look on the Facebook page, because I can tell you, even though it wasn't covered in the news media, I put those essays on my Facebook page. 4 days, well, each essay got a day. We broke for the Memorial Day weekend and started again. And just to give you an idea, we had 157 comments. I had 1,622 likes, and I had 59,448 views. So people do see it, and they do recognize it, and I think that's significant. And so with that much of an audience, I feel it's my obligation to make you all aware of what we're doing at these council meetings in case you don't watch Channel 5 or the newspaper. We don't all read it, and we don't all do news media, but it's just another way to keep the citizens informed. So I'm going to try to make that a pledge to do that for you all. It won't take long, and I won't bore you. We'll recap these meetings quickly, and most of our meetings are fairly quick. We won't get into huge discussions, but I will touch on the high points and make you up to date on what we discussed, so I think everybody should be aware of what's going on. Okay, back to my... Now I'm becoming aware of it. That's four since I've mentioned it. I'm not going to do that again. I should be smarter than that, but I'm not. Back to what I was saying a minute ago. I want to just recognize a young man from our community that some of you all may or may not know, a young man named Brandon Maxwell. Brandon is a young man that graduated from Longview High School, and he now lives in New York City. Brandon was the stylist for Lady Gaga, and he's now launched his own clothing line. And just 2 nights ago, I know this because my wife is in New York, and she was with him at his event. He was presented with the CFDA Women's Wear Designer of the Year Award in New York City. And CFDA means Council of Fashion Design of America. Y'all didn't think I knew that, did you? I didn't have to look that up either. Yes, I did. But this is a big deal. This is a huge award given to a young man from our community. And Brandon, if you don't know him, he's a wonderful young man with a great heart, and he continues to promote his East Texas roots. Every time he does an interview, when he got this award, he said, who would ever thought a kind of overweight kid from East Texas would be sitting up here at a dinner like this, not knowing which fork to use and which knife to use and being afraid of embarrassing myself. What a fantastic young man that we have that was homegrown and now is out doing big things for Longview. So, you know, I just think we should recognize people like that when we know about it, and I'm proud to know Brandon. I'm proud to have known him since he was born. I've known him his whole life. And I just commend him, and I commend our community for embracing the people that have come through here and that are continuing to go on and do other things. So whenever you know things like that, let me know about it. I'm happy, I'm proud to mention things like this that are good for our community. So thanks for indulging me, but thank you, Brandon, for doing what you're doing. Keep up the great work. We will now go into executive session to deliberate regarding real property under Texas Government Code Section 551.072 and consultation with attorney under Texas Government Code Section 551.074. We will not be returning after the meeting for this. What did I say? Okay, Mr. Finley, don't tell me what I said. No, I'm kidding. Whatever you say, Jim. 551.071. Yes, thank you. We will not be returning after the meeting, but we will not adjourn the meeting until after our discussion is done. Thank you all for being here.